Off-road dirt bike instructors Jimmy, Lewis, and Logan talk about arm pump and how to combat it, the science behind bar bends. They debate the necessity of gloves, air forks for spring forks, adventure bike tires, and many other topics on the show.
Taco Moto. So you've heard us talk about Taco Mike on the show. He's been a guest host a few times. Taco Moto Co., that's how you find him on the web, sells a lot of the kind of cool and unique tuning products that you need to get your emissions compliant bike running up to snuff. So if you have questions, he has answers, and he can also sell you the stuff. So if we can't answer the question here, which we hope we can, maybe he can answer the question over there, and he can also sell you the parts that you might need to get your especially KTM or Husky dual sport bike running like a champ. Anyways, it's tacomoto.co.
Now here's the show.
Okay, live from Pahrump. This is Tuesday night's favorite motorcycle show that's happening right here and right now. It's Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. My name is Jimmy Lewis. This is Logan Tyler. And you hear it, don't you? It's your phone.
Yeah.
It's your phone. I told you this 2 minutes ago. One of these days, this is the 99th show. Okay, so you blame me 99 times and you probably 30. That we can't kick this show off without having some sort of technical difficulty. Here, fix something. This is Travis, and Travis ate it, and I found his visor on the floor, and I didn't vacuum it up, so I'm doing a lot of cleaning around here. Tech Talk Taco Tuesday is the show where we answer your motorcycle and motorcycle product-related questions. This is our 99th time doing this. And it's amazing that it's actually gotten a little bit better. I've been doing a little bit of research. I went and looked at some old episodes, and I mean they're horrible. There's been some improvements, but there needs to be a lot more. And so the theme of this show is going to be improvements, and we're going to ask the live listeners, the ones that are watching on Facebook right now. We're going to ask them for some suggestions because at show 100, I'd like to make we're either going to keep doing it the same way, and it's just going to be the same shit show that this has been, or it's going to get kicked up a notch to levels that I sent you some podcasts that I wanted you to look at and listen to. So this thing has a couple different forms. Of course, it was originally designed to be a podcast so you could listen to it, because who wants to really sit there and look at Jimmy Lewis, blah, 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 blah. I mean, you pull chicks. As far as, we've proven on this show. But we don't really see it on the thing. We just know it happens in the real world because we've seen this. So we're just trying to make the show better. Logan, my co-host, was known for not saying anything, and your job was to do what?
Drink while you drink liquids.
Wait, no, you didn't get that right.
I mean,
you blew that
talk while you drink liquids.
Mm-hmm.
And
exactly, and so even though you can't explain what you do, you're actually pretty good at it. And this show is brought to you by
KTM.
Okay.
And they're powered by a distinct ready-to-race mentality. KTM is the world's leading high-performance street and off-road motorcycle manufacturer. With North American headquarters based in Murrieta, California, over the years, KTM has built a reputation as a fierce competitor on the racetracks around the world. And the brand's remarkable global success is reflected in every product it develops and every move it makes.
We should go back. So this is one thing we could go back in the archives and find the original read when I made you do that. And it was painful. I mean, I knew it was these are learning experiences. But yeah, I rode a KTM today. Did you ride a KTM today?
No.
No. Yeah, I rode my KTM 350 back and forth between here and the mobile home on the next lot next door, because it has a Recluse clutch in it. Yeah. And what's really awesome, Recluse is another one of the people that help us out, sponsors. I got an email back from a guy, and I'll read that in a few minutes. You know what's awesome about a Recluse clutch is you can carry stuff so easy on your motorcycle. Even a cat. I carried my cat, which I'm trying to teach it a little bit. So one time I was carrying paintbrushes and things over, and I carried my cat back here. And it's not really into riding motorcycles yet, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to the point where the cat will go riding with me because nobody else will. And you know, that's on you as well. Martin Gomi says hire a professional.
Yeah.
Do you know any? Martin, do you know any professionals? And professionals are hard to find. Experts? We like experts. What's an expert, Bob?
I don't know.
You don't know what an expert is. X means former, and a spurt is like sometimes it's a flash in your pants. Okay, we're gonna try that, Martin. We're gonna do the best we absolutely possibly can. Later on, when I'll ask it specifically for kind of comments on stuff. But one of the things that might make this a little easier on the eyes is multiple cameras, multiple camera angles, and that requires having someone that's like kind of a producer, and then that way when it goes up on the YouTube. So if you are now watching this show on the YouTubes, I want you to comment back and say, hey, yeah, this would be better for this format. And if you're listening to it on SoundCloud or on one of the, it's in a podcast format on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast, send us an email back to jimmy@dirtbiketest.com. Send me an email and tell me where you're finding this. And if you're not able to find it or it's not on your list, let me know because I can do some stuff to make it search a little bit better. So, hey, Mark Daniel says it's a great Tech Talk Taco Tuesday today. Mark, I have it on good authority that you're in communications with my bartender who's trying to negotiate getting you out into Pahrump. Mark wants to get out of California, and Janie is selling Pahrump as the ultimate place to live. And you're shaking your head like this. What if you like riding dirt bikes?
We just really need more people from California here.
Good dirt bike people? Yes.
Well, that's a different story.
Yeah, somebody that doesn't ride wheelies up and down the street. Yeah, we need those people. We need people that want to leave California and leave all that crap behind.
You need the way they made California there.
Yeah, make California, California. I guess everybody's moving to Idaho and to Texas, and those are the dipshits that need to go there to those other. They're probably chasing good paying jobs and stuff like that. But if you just want to come out here and ride dirt bikes, good responsible dirt bike users, we want you. Yeah, we should. Dirt bike Pahrump is open for dirt bikes, and actually, I've got to share. I got a new survey that for the state funds, like the recreation funds. There's a new survey that I just got because I responded to the first one. I have a link to the second one that you can go in and say, hey, they got more specific about it. And now you can say, hey, OHV recreation. And because that's where they determine how a lot of this money gets spent, big recreation dollars that come in from taxes on your fuel and things like that, as well as our sticker money, the OHV registration sticker. So more cameras equals more opportunities for failure. Did you already text George back and tell him that's the very downside outlook? What are we supposed to be positive reinforcement around here? Constructive criticism?
Yes.
That's downright negativeness.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why he's not in the studio. We banned him. Yeah, I could unfriend him or something like that. And Kyler says, don't send him to Idaho. My Idaho. Scott Glimp says he'll ride with me. I used to race with Scott Glimp back in the day. Yeah, it's actually, you don't want to ride out here right now. It's really, really silty. I took the Beta 200 out for a ride, and we need to have a segment where I talk about the thing I'm testing or the bike I'm riding. That would be a good segment. So let's make that the Beta 200 tonight. You got to remind me to do this also, Logan. Put that on your notes. Do you have notes? Show notes? No, that you just fake that.
Yeah. I don't know. Should I put them on this?
Didn't I tell it? What was the text I sent you today? Do you want me to look it up? Where's my phone? I lost my phone already. I might have to go get it.
Get your show notes ready for TTT and have your segments dialed.
Right. Okay, so the show notes, the one that you just went to that you fake typed on?
Yeah.
What did you say? What did you say back to that text?
Okay.
Okay, so that means you did it.
Did what?
Right. Show notes. I said get your show notes ready.
So, like...
Right, you would have the things you were going to talk about? Yeah, so...
Oh.
Yeah. This brain is only... It can barely operate me. I can't operate you at the same time. Aren't we supposed to talk about motorcycles in this show?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's the other sponsor of this show?
Honda.
Right.
With their new 2021 Sierra.
Have you ridden one of those yet?
No.
There's a test of the RX up on Dirt Bike Test. Scott got his test done. So if you're interested about the RX, not the 450R, but the RX, you can go on a Dirt Bike Test and see that test right now. Just saying. Okay, keep going.
Honda's new 2021 Sierra 450R is designed to take you straight from the starting gate to Victory Circle. This awesome open-class motocrosser features an all-new chassis, a major engine overhaul, new suspension, and new bodywork. And you can forget about clutch fade, adjustment, or hand fatigue with the new hydraulic clutch system. Lighter than ever, the Sierra 450R explodes out of corners when it's time to increase your lead. So get on down to your local dealer and check out the 2021 Honda Sierra 450R. Go to mx.honda.com to see our full lineup of competition bikes. The Sierra 450R is intended for a closed course operation only.
Awesome. Yeah. So, go to your Honda dealer. I actually want to ride the 450RX because I liked the 450R right away when everybody else at all the other magazine jockeys started complaining about it. I said, this is a really good bike for regular people. And I'm kind of like regular people level on a motocross track right now. And if that same thing carried over to RX, that would make that bike that much better. Because I liked it before. I liked it in kind of an aggressive off-road sort of Grand Prix race bike style. It'd be really interesting to see if the new one is like that. TW Hicks says, I got pulled over by a fine Pahrump cop for going 21 in a 15 zone. You know TW Hicks? You know him in town?
I don't.
I don't either. Yeah. So,
They do that.
Kurt Huff. Is that the Kurt Huff that I used to race against in the ISD qualifiers and was on the 6-day teams? Always great riding here in the flyover states. Okay. George is doing his job. For guests to participate, says Chris Reel, have one of the monitors for them to be present virtually. Also schedule a 5-minute topic a week in advance. He's talking about something that my, God bless him, former KTM factory mechanic, Dave Chase, rest in peace, told me, prior proper preparation prevents piss poor performance.
You got it.
And yeah, that's true, Chris. I would proper preparation. That would be like you doing your show notes, Logan.
I'm not sure what show notes are. Is it like just get ready for what you're going to say on the show?
Yeah. You know how like sometimes when you go to school, I mean, and I say sometimes because that's what you seem like you do these days.
Yeah, school.
School. Okay. So you know how you do homework?
Yeah.
In school so you can be ready for the next lesson?
Yeah.
It's almost like that. Except here you're going to get ridiculed, and in school they just go, "Oh, Logan, it's okay. You're just special." So
Yeah, it's fine.
we don't do that. Scott Glimp says, looking at getting a seat concepts comfort seat for my KTM 1290 Adventure R. The stock seat is hard on the butt. After riding 200 plus miles, riding 2-up, will it make a difference? Scott, I can speak to this specifically. I have a seat concept seat on my 1090, and I love it. It's actually the tall seat, which freaks everybody out because at 5'10", I don't really have the leg length to comfortably put my feet on the ground. But I wanted a tall seat because it's way more comfortable. And believe it or not, they're so worried about the seat height in these bikes, they cut the seats down, and then you get what you just explained. The minimum amount of foam, and they're bucketed out, and you're not very comfortable, and you can't move around. So it's more like a single seat on a dirt bike. And even riding 2-up, you can kind of, you both can adjust if you need to on the seat. I wouldn't get the ribs though. on the for the double seat, I would go with I would go with a non-ribbed version of the tall seat. There's gripper stuff on the side, but they make they know their foam. That company, they make their own foam, and they definitely get it right. I have their seats on a couple of my 500s and 350 EXCs that I kind of switch around. There's actually one that's it's all the what's the Naugahyde? What's the
that's cool. Suede.
It's suede, yeah, the suede seats that are on all the rally bikes and stuff, and I have one seat like that, and it just gets moved from whatever bike that I'm riding. And like Heather even said, take that seat off the 350 because she went on the tour with Johnny last time, and put that seat on this bike. So it was on the 350 I was riding today. I'm just glad my cat didn't claw into it. Hey, you know that doormat thing you guys got me?
Yeah.
The cat loves to, like, when it comes in, claws right into that thing. You can actually see where it's like a little, it just gets on that thing and raises it. So,
Close enough.
Yeah, the tall seat, not the rally one, Scott says. So, let's see. What is the next thing we had here? So I had a question from Danny Turner. Well, actually, no. He said, listen to this. You want to read this, Logan? Because that's your job, to read the questions. We'll see how these go. Like, the first question reads were pretty rough too, but we're getting better at this because I'm thirsty.
You deserve some credit. You helped sell a recluse. It is the best thing I've done to my 2020 XC300 for my riding style and the riding I do. Also, allows me to run more in third and helps keep my pace up, plus makes things much easier the final laps of the 2-hour races we do. Still waiting for your return review of the kreft Explorer stuff.
Okay, so let's hit the recluse before we get too deep into this. He's got a couple questions in here. So what Danny's talking about is just, and he's racing, and he's like recluse for racing. I think we recommended it. I said he was. I think if I recall correctly, he was complaining about the power was kind of, snap was kind of tiring him out. And a lot of times when you think about it, if you're whether you're pumping the clutch and kind of, not trusting the torque of the bike, and so you're letting the clutch back out when there's higher power, that's making it jerk, or you are really trusting the clutch and you're letting it go down to where it's almost stalled, and then you have to gas it again to get back on. It makes the bike really jerky. And so he's talking about this like second and third gear, and we're talking about like GNCC or, kind of, hair scrambles, Grand Prix style racing where you're in that second, third gear stuff all the time. And when you can comfortably switch to third gear and know you're not going to stall, and then trust that you can get on the throttle pretty hard, and then it's smooth, it's really smooth the way it engages, kind of like you would if you weren't tired and everything was perfect, and you just like roll the clutch out and it just pulls, so you don't have to make that shift. Like, I remember riding the very first, it was actually called a Revlock clutch in the early days. We put it on an XR 400 and I rode it in Tecate in Mexico. And I noticed instead of going around the turns in second gear, I was going around them in third gear. And those clutches were notorious for getting fried. And it was so much faster because you could just roll it on and it would slip it in and then engage and then it'd pull and go. And then you're going in third gear as opposed to having to let off the throttle and shift into from second to third. And it wasn't as jerky, and it ends up net making, like quicker lap times, making you faster. And I actually was playing around with it, clicking into like fourth gear and to test it to do this. And I was like, if this clutch can handle this, and very quickly I realized it wouldn't, but if it could, if that clutch on that bike could handle this, like I would just leave it in fourth gear and just roll it on because it did such a good job. And, Recluses have evolved from that. That was one of the first ones. Recluse had a kind of a similar design. These were the old ball bearing ones. And now they have the ones that have the ramps in them, and they're all kind of accomplishing the same thing and that's what people say, like, I don't need this. No, you don't need it. I don't need it when I ride, and I prefer it. It's just one less thing I have to do. And for a lot of riders, the best thing you can do with a Recluse, sounds like an ad. It is an ad. We should just clip this out and put it in front of the damn show, Logan. Like when you're editing these things, which you're going to have to edit like however many you came up with that list.
Yeah.
The ease of riding factor just goes up. But a lot of guys that won't trust that their bike has torque at lower RPMs. Listen to my I've Got You in My Pocket. If you don't follow Dirt Bike Test on Instagram, go to Dirt Bike Test on Instagram. I got something else I got to tell people to do too. Go to Dirt Bike Test on Instagram, and there's an I Got You in My Pocket series. And I just did like a beta 200. I said beta 200, like extreme enduro like thing. And you listen to that thing, listen to where that thing's running. It's just a 200 and it's going, I learned this from watching some of the best extreme enduro riders in the world, but I also learned it from riding with a Recluse clutch, that these bikes, if you're really good on your clutch and you just have a little bit of throttle and then you can keep a load against the clutch so that it doesn't stall, it's amazing how low they'll bog down and keep functioning. And so a lot of guys, they don't trust that the bike at 3 or 4 or 7 horsepower, that's enough to kind of get them going. They've got to put it up to 17, and then they try to control it with the clutch. The Recluse does all that for you, and it keeps it at the right RPM. So that's what makes that really good. Glad that worked out for you, Danny. Logan's going to keep going with your question.
Still waiting for your review of the Kreft Explorer stuff. I did an Explorer swap on my 300, and it's a world better for me than the Air Force was.
So he got the open cartridge, the Explorer fork, and replaced his, what do they call the Air AER fork. So he swapped those things out, which is what he's talking about. And he says,
way less stiction and deflection over roots and rocks after putting the right springs in there for my weight, of course. Only in few situations did I have any complaints at all with the front now.
I want to know what his complaints are. This is how I test. I'm always interested to hear how this works. And if the question is you're putting that fork that's designed to work with a PDS shock in the back on a bike that has a linkage which is slightly different, and I'm just gonna guess that the front and the back aren't matched perfectly. That's the front, the problems you're having with the front are suffering from the back not, quote, cooperating with. I mean, you could do it. You could probably get it with clickers. You could probably get it pretty close. But that could be some of the issue. And I'm pretty sure that the Explorer forks move a lot more free feeling than the air fork, the AER fork. But I've been able to get those forks to work really good in trail riding situations as well. So I think both of them can be set up for either situation. But those are the best air forks I've ever ridden, period. Just, I have to say that because it only takes, there's only one air thing. You don't have to do, there's other ones that were really good, but you had to do 3 different chambers on them, and it was ridiculous. And you could make those forks do anything, but it took a lot of experimentation, and most people don't have the patience for that. So, interesting. I'd like to find out what Danny, let me know what the problem is, because it'd be interesting to try to diagnose it and get it a little closer. So where are we at? What's next, Logan?
I have a Moose ordered for the front of the 790 adventure bike. Also, I still on back order with WPS, though. Have you had a chance to try that yet?
I haven't done he was the one that asked about putting the Moose into the adventure bike tire as, quote, a run flat device, and I haven't had time to do that. We're in fly season here. Look at that sucker. Oh, he's going straight for the tequila. Good fly. Yeah, you're going to be dead in a few minutes anyways. On the kreft suspension, that was on the 350 I was riding all last week. I'm pretty happy with it. It's more in kind of the way I asked for it to be set up. It's a little bit more on the race side. So I'm trying to get my Explorer forks to work a little bit more like an AER fork. And they've definitely done that. And then they've addressed the bottoming issue on the shock. So that's good. I haven't had a chance to just go out and play with the suspension, play with it to know exactly how it's working. And I have to take it off that 350 and put it onto the 500 that I told them I was going to put it on. And so, because I want to make sure that if there's anything that, that I don't want to say if I'm not happy with this, or that I didn't do it exactly what I told them I was going to put it on. But then again, the suspension has lots of clickers on it, and that's what I've been playing with to get it right where I want it. And I'm mostly playing on the forks with they call it revalve control. So, essentially it's a mid-speed adjuster, and then their low speed adjusters supposedly work more in the low speed. And I still haven't had a chance to go out and test. I'm riding with it. It's good. I'm happy. But I have to go test it so I can explain it better, because I'm not like everybody else that just, since it comes with really fancy parts and nice stickers, that I just say it's better, especially when as expensive as that modification is. I want to make sure that I'm doing it justice to test what it's really supposed to be capable of and things like that. So that's the answer to that question. We have lots of other questions that are kind of popping up in there, huh, Logan?
Yeah.
Okay, what's a good one?
Todd Kelly kind of put in a big one.
Okay.
And
he has the same shirt on as you. You guys are twins?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. Guess what? Guess what else I did this week in my process of cleaning up? I shut down the Dirt Bike Test t-shirt store. It's gone. You can't go and order t-shirts anymore. So as Jimmy, as your dad, as he gets up and he goes over to check the inventory to see if he needs anything.
I'm going to get some of these before they're gone.
Yeah, you better get some. Yeah, load up. They're No, take one. Take it. It's yours. Yeah. No, you drive Logan over here. Well, we got to talk about that too.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Put that on your show notes. Put your show notes. Go to the show notes. Just type in 140, and we'll talk about it later. Okay. So, what does Todd want to know? As you're typing in show notes, you got to multitask over here, bro. Like this isn't school. This is real world.
He swapped the Electrons EFI kit over to the Delphi kit on my Christini. It replaced every electrical and fuel component on the bike. It ran great. It seemed similar to every other EIF system. Contrary to what you previously said about the Delphi. The throttle response was great, and that's comparing to my TPI. He was riding in St. George on the Everride Rally, going pretty hard, G-outs and bike running a bit hot. But the bike suddenly quit, and I found the coil shorted out, popped open, and the installation was dripping out of the bottom of the coil. He traced every wire along the loom, and he couldn't find any exposed wires or anything pinched. Have you ever had a coil fail?
On a Christini? Yes. We've had coil failures. And on a Christini, yes, we've had wiring harness failures. You've seen that. You've seen those bikes out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the wiring harness is all torn open and all that stuff. Okay. So this is a problem with that bike. So the Delphi, I'm trying to think of I have software here. I have a little thing. It's on my list of things to do. I have the software to go in and rewrite to the computer, and I'm pretty sure it's to the Delphi. So I have not switched out to the other system. I thought I switched from one, but it's been a year since I've touched that bike. God, I wonder if it still runs. Just been sitting there with gas in it. It's parked right next to the all-wheel drive KTM adventure bike. They're back in the you can't see this room.
Right.
Yeah, these special projects that just kind of, when you can make money selling all-wheel drive fat tire electric mountain bikes, you make all-wheel drive fat tire mountain bikes. And actually one of those is supposed to show up here. Really? So, yeah. We all got to go ride electric mountain bikes again. Yeah. So that'd be super fun. Christini, I just got some text from Steve today. He's trying to get it back from another group of journalists, and I told him, well, if you're asking for the bike back and it's not coming back, it's because they sold it, and now they have to go find the guy they sold it to and try to get it back so they can send it back to you. That's the way most journalists work. It used to be that way in the motorcycle industry, like a long ways back. But in the bicycle industry, that's kind of, they just you send them the bike and they test it and it just kind of disappears. Yeah, vaporizes. You want to get a job in the bicycle testing industry?
Not really.
Not really. What do you want to do when you grow up, Logan?
I don't really know.
You don't really know.
But
doors, right?
Don't say that.
Doors? That's it. We had this discussion on the show once before, right? I think we went into like the Tyler's going to the door business.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Your sister's going to be installing doors pretty soon. Yeah. She older or younger?
Younger.
Younger. Well, you'll be doing it first.
Yeah.
You'll have to teach her. That's the trades. That's you go in there and you learn. You learn by doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know how to install a door?
I can put it up.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. I got a couple mobile homes over there we need to talk about. I did painting today. I'm actually getting pretty good at it. I've done enough of it. I've done this house, that mobile home, that garage. Like, you do something a few times and the first time sucks. You screw everything up.
Yeah.
And you should have paid somebody. But after the third or fourth time, you watch enough YouTube videos, you make all the mistakes that they tell you that's the way to do it. Like the guy that's like saying, use this paint, and they say not to do this, but mix this into it. And you're like, oh, really? Yeah. Somebody wants to know about leg extenders. That's Victor. For the tall seats in the adventure bikes. No, balance. Do you ride with your feet on the ground?
Try not to.
Oh, this should be an ad for my school. I'm going to do an ad for my own school right now. If you ride with your feet on the ground because you think that's how you're supposed to do it, you should come and see Jimmy Lewis Off-Road Training, because we'll teach you how to ride like a normal person on your motorcycle, where you ride with your feet on the foot pegs, standing comfortably and relaxed, and you can ride through sand and mud, uphills, downhills, and hardly using any effort at all. It's like magic. In fact, we have a magic pill that we don't sell. You actually have to come out and take the class and do the training. If you're more interested in this, go to www.jimmylewisoffroad.com and sign up for our newsletter, because that's when you can find out when our next class is. Unfortunately, the last one of the season is sold out, so you can't come to that. What does Dean Kemp want to know? Do you know? I think Dean's a horse, because he says, hey. Like,
yeah.
Hey, like Hay.
Jimmy, you can tell Kinda you sold a set of big block tires. Getting them for my T7, is it better to go from a 150 70 18 to a 140 80 18? What are your thoughts?
Funny you asked this, because I was asked this today by a friend of mine who has a Tenere 700, and they wanted to know which one. I'm 140. I'm 99% sure that you want to go with the 140, which is a slightly smaller one. The 150/70 is gigantic. It's made for the like 1290s, and I go back and forth between 140 and 150 on my 1090 and 1190. I have a few sets of wheels that I kind of swap between them. And for dirt off-road riding, I prefer the smaller tire. For on-road riding, the bigger tire is better, because it just feels like it has just the way it rolls into the turns is a little bit smoother. But off-road, it feels like the smaller tire actually bites better and makes the bike feel more lively. It doesn't float as much on loose surfaces. It kind of cuts down into the gravel or dirt or sand or whatever it is. So Dean, yeah, go with the on the T7. I'm pretty sure, I think in the video, I don't know if we actually talked about what size it was, but I'm 99% sure I put the 140 on there. And I will let Kenna know that I sold a set of tires, because that's kind of why they have me they help out our schools as a brand ambassador. You know, so what does Steve Camrad want to know?
Arm pump prevention and best handle bump sweep for East Coast Enduro.
Wow, arm pump. That is you get arm pump, Logan?
Not recently.
Not recently, but you have before.
Yeah.
When do you get it?
Grabbing the bars too tight.
But like, do you get it like on your first ride in the morning, like when you just leave the house and you're out riding, or is it at a race, or when do you get arm pump?
Just whenever I forget to let go of the handlebars.
Whenever you forget
to.
Yeah, his dad's eyes light up. Let go of the handlebars. Well, it's because he goes to he teaches at my school. We talk about like I'm riding around waving at everybody and stuff. No. When you're too tight.
Yeah.
But mostly at racing.
No.
Oh, trail riding.
No. No particular
time.
Spot, but just whenever
arm pump is the weirdest thing, because I get it every once in a while, and it's generally, for me, it's when I go out a little too hard. Like if I'm at the track and I just go, if I know the track and I don't like do a warm up lap, and I just go right into there's a lot of different. I've heard a lot of different explanations and reasons for it. You know, it's some people say it's it's the way you're built. It's certain muscle sheaths that tighten up certain. It's what you eat. It's the way you warm up or not warm up. And then it's the bar bend. It's how much you grip and hang on, like you're talking about gripping the bars. So Steve, I'm going to give you the answer here in a second. Sorry you had to wait 9 minutes for this, but here is something I want everybody because we're getting some really good questions tonight. Everybody that's live on Facebook right now, I want you to go share. I'd like you to share this thing that we're doing, Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. I think there's a way you can do it. You just go on the button, share it in a group that you see where people ask weird questions. I don't ask everybody to do this that often, share things all the time. I don't say, hey, go click through our link on Amazon, which you can on our website. You can go to Fresh Dirt, and there's an Amazon link there. And then we get a couple nickels back to kind of keep this ship afloat and do this stuff. Because I hate hearing it too. But unfortunately, you lemmings need to be told what to do. And 1 out of every 100 of you will do this, and it does make a difference. So I'm going to answer the arm pump question because I know a couple things about arm pump, and then hopefully when people come on to this after you went and shared it, they'll go, wow, I actually learned something, because they won't have to listen to us talk about you and going to school and how your heart rate goes up to 140 because you just got your learner's permit.
Yep.
And your heart rate went to 140 driving over here today.
On average, 140.
On average.
Yeah.
What was the peak?
Probably 170.
Whoa. You know, I work with some athletes, high level athletes that may, do things like, win Dakar.
Yeah.
Their heart rates don't go up like that when they're racing rallies. So you're as stressed out as a guy racing Dakar, driving your dad's, what is it? It's a Dodge Ram 2500 diesel. Yep. That's pretty good, Logan. That's showing concern. Did you get arm pump when you were driving the truck over? Did you?
No.
No arm pump?
No.
He had to be white knuckling it.
White knuckling it?
Had to, man.
Well, it's because you're just sitting down. So, okay. So here's the so here's the question on arm pump. So it has, for most people, it has a lot to do with grip strength, like squeezing too tight, and it just tightens up your forearm. And I'm not a physiologicalist or anything like that. I don't even play one on TV. In fact, my wife used to be a massage therapist, and she used to say the names of muscles and things. And I'm like, yeah, just keep massaging. It's all good. But it's a lot of times when you start squeezing super tight, it starts locking up. It gets worse and worse and worse. And from what I can tell so like I said, when I go out in my first lap, I'm squeezing too tight, and that's what starts causing it. And it seems like once it starts, until you can like give it a chance to cool off, or it doesn't go away. So everything that contributes to the way that you hang onto the motorcycle contributes to the arm pump. And before I would ever go and get a surgery where they, cut the sheath and do all the different stuff, and I've heard of different things where like it's the wrong kind of training. It's like overtraining, and you build muscles up that aren't the right ones for what you're hanging on. My go-to, just like we talk about at the school, is don't grip the damn handlebars so tight. If you're doing it right, you don't have to. If you're loose on the bar. So generally you think about the way that you're riding. Either your setup is so out there, your bar bend and stuff like that is so wrong that it's causing you to hang on weird. But 95% of the time, even with good riders, it's that they're out of balance on the motorcycle. So they're not putting their weight into their feet like they're supposed to. They're hanging on to the handlebars. So imagine like walking out of balance. I don't care where you're walking upstairs or just walking along, and try to knock yourself out of balance while you're walking and have to hang on to something, a guardrail or a walker, but out of balance and enough to hang on to this, and do this for 3 minutes. Your arms are going to pump up. Your arms are going to get tired if that's how because your body's not designed to hang on to something like this. You don't practice this. And then you get on your motorcycle and you just think, I'm going to ride like, Ken Roxon. And you're not, and you're hanging on, you're squeezing. Actually, I should say Ryan Hughes, because he's the one that talks about like unlocking the hips and all this other stuff. He's out there, but in a good way. I mean, like, he's kind of crazy on some things, but really, really good on other things. But you're squeezing too tight, and it's just not allowing the circulation that you need to go through. Maybe, I don't know. I think the circulation still goes through. It's just not able to accomplish the job. So you're probably out of balance. You are out of balance on your motorcycle. Like, whether your bike is balanced or not, it's a whole different thing, but you are hanging on, and it's not allowing, your grip to you're never able to recover. And once it starts going south, it goes south. Literally, if I arm pump, I have to slow down so much. And luckily I know this now. It's like, hey, you're not putting your weight on your feet. You're hanging on the handlebars, and I can kind of do it and still ride, but I have to slow down quite a bit to figure out how to get back onto my feet, more balanced on the motorcycle. So, yeah, Steve, hopefully that that helps out. Oh, and George says that my school is the best prevention for arm pump. And if you think it's the bar bend, don't go changing your bar bend until you figure out how to ride properly. Because if you get a bar bend for improper riding, guess what? If you ever start riding properly, your improper bar bend is now improper again. We see this all the time, especially people say, I need taller bars. It's always taller bars. And it's like, no, you need to learn how to stand up and, or even when you're sitting down. And like a lot of times the high bars when you're sitting down are a real problematic thing. So, okay. Ryan says, breathe easy and ride more. Yeah, both those things are good. I wouldn't complain about that. Another question, Logan?
I don't think that was for. Oh wait, yeah, it was.
Hey, do you see Mike Spurgeon comment there? It says, we're working on developing a Get ECU setup for the TPI bikes that will remove the oil injection system. Why would you want to do that? And turn those bikes into a premix machine for the guys who want to reduce the weight of those components and eliminate a slight but possible issue of oil pump failure. Okay, the weight... The weight, do those guys put the kickstart, take the electric start off and put the Kickstarter back on?
Kickstarters and
yeah.
Why not get a YZ?
Actually, those are the guys that don't need a recluse clutch either. Yeah.
Why not get a YZ?
The funny thing is a guy came to our class that had this crazy Get fuel injection system on his TPI bike that moved the injectors back into the intake manifold. They took them out of the transfer ports and put them into the, and I rode the bike, and it felt like it was definitely developed on a dyno. Because it just didn't carburate. We'll say carburate. It didn't carburate as nice as the TPI. All of a sudden it felt like you're back in this, like you turn the throttle and it waits that half a second and it goes, whatever, like what carburetors used to do. And I'll talk about this all day long. Like everybody complained about fuel injection on 4-strokes. They weren't as fast. They didn't make as much power. Like this. Well, look at what these guys are doing on like supercross tracks now. Everybody's wondering why the lap times are coming down so much. They're in the same stadiums with the same length tracks, and they're 2 and 3 seconds a lap faster than they were a few years back. It's because they're getting away from all this horsepower, and they're all starting to think about traction and drivability, so they can do things in between. They can do things where before they were all worried about having power, but that power spun the wheel and they couldn't get the drive to do the next jump. And then all these guys are doing is going rip. You listen to them, and if you listen to one rider on a supercross track, it doesn't sound like he's riding his motorcycle. It's just off the bottom. And even the 250Fs, believe it or not, a little bit higher RPM. But that's what makes a factory 250F so good, is because they have torque on the bottom, and then they pull. And sure, they'll rev them out to when they need to. But yeah, you know what? The Beta 200 I'm riding, which we're going to talk about in a second, I love the oil injection on that. I loved it so much that I forgot to take oil with me on my last ride, and I literally wanted to go on one more ride. I wanted to fill up the tank. I had the gas. I didn't have the oil because I just kind of forgot about it, and it 8-9 tanks in or something like that, and the light came on, and so I filled it up because I know it's like usually 1.5-2 tanks when the light comes on. Light came on, and I rode it, and I pulled the air filter out and looked at it real close, and I had to calculate the ounces. Like, no, that ain't gonna make it. I can't go riding anymore. So bad on me for the convenience. I would never take oil injection off, and I mean the failures are so few and far between. It's just like any failure you ever see on the internet. The one guy that has it happen, he posts it, or his buddy. Usually his buddy posts it. He posts it, and buddy posts it, and then everybody else takes it and copies it and go, look what happened, look what happened, look what happened, look what happened. And then every bike that ever had that part on it, now it's in the midst of failing. It's about ready to fail. But in all of the oil injected bikes that I've had, probably test bikes, 8, 9, 10 of them now, I've not had one failure. But I also have not run some wacky oil that doesn't work. I've run oil that says works in oil injected machines. And some of it has not been the name brands that you're familiar with. I've tried different oils. In fact, in the beta right now, it's a mix of 2 different oil injected things. And I rode it 60 miles the other day. Barely 60 miles. It had no more fuel left in it. It had oil, but no more fuel. So, it would, I mean, if there's plenty of guys out there that think they need this stuff. So Mike, Taco Mike, which, you're going to see his logo up here pretty soon. He's going to pay you to put those old episodes up. That's where that's coming from. Taco Mike is, and he sells a lot of stuff. He sells a lot of these ECUs and different things like that. And if there's somebody out there to buy this stuff and wants this stuff, he should make it. That's great if somebody thinks that's the way to go. But the reason that a big manufacturer like KTM or like Beta puts oil injection on these bikes is because that's what the customers want. And they may not want it in the get-go. In the beginning, they may not want it, but once you start using it, and Beta still will sell you like the 200, you can get the 200, the race edition or the factory edition or whatever their factory one is, and it comes without oil injection, so you can still mix your gas if you want to. But I like the one that I just pour oil into it and ride it, and it does as good a job. Have you ever seen me mix 2-stroke oil, Logan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sketchy.
Yeah.
I don't like the ratio, right? That's one extra step. I just like going like this in the gas can. So trust me, it's good. Yeah, and I have not really heard of a ton of things. So, hey, you guys got a few more people on here. What do you think of some of the advantage and disadvantages that setup might be? I just said it. Mike, I didn't even read that post, but I just went ahead and ranted on it anyways. Steve Camrad says, Skylar going to Husky. Yes, Skylar Howe's got a Husky factory rally ride, which is really good for Skylar. He has to put up or shut up because there's nothing more to complain about. You have the factory bike. I sure hope he got paid. I hope he's not. I hope he gets some salary or money with that job. As well. So that's because that's important. Steve says he's taken my class. Was Steve the one that asked about the arm pump?
Yeah.
Okay, so Steve knows how to stand up. Do you remember teaching Steve?
Maybe.
You
Yeah.
remember him specifically?
No.
Okay. So you just got your learner's permit.
Yeah.
So it was the drive over here, your first drive?
I drove home from DMV, and then that was pretty much it.
So DMV and Pahrump.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sketchy, the roads of Pahrump, the dark streets of Pahrump.
Yeah.
Do you get to drive home tonight too? Yep.
Yep.
At dark?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yep. Surprised your dad's not hitting me up for some tequila. Designated driver. This is good.
It's good.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Any other questions?
Mark Daniel says, what was my dad's heart rate?
I should check.
Yeah. They came in here asking about GPS watches, and I couldn't figure it out. Now all of a sudden we're checking everybody's heart rate.
Yeah.
So I'll do mine right now here real quick, see what I'm doing when I'm running the show. Victor says, here's my 2 cents worth. It's no excuse, but if I don't drink 1 or 2 beers before riding, my hands go numb, not my arms, to the point of pain. I'm totally serious. Victor, we don't endorse or recommend any of your recommendations on this podcast, but we do like to have you as a top fan, evidently. And George chimes in. George, spelled Jorge. Arm pump is created by restricted blood vessels in the forearms. The restriction backs up the blood coming in from the heart. While the blood is backing up, more blood continues to be pumped into the forearms, and the result is a blood traffic jam. Did somebody Google that?
No, that's what it is.
Oh, well, it sounds accurate to me.
And the blood can't get back.
And my wife, Heather says, what about getting some flex bars? I think they say that it reduces arm pump, and I don't get arm pump that much. So flex bars, which are on most of my bikes, must work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that could fix it also. Although I can't say definitively that would be the answer, but, let's see. Chris Reel says, I adjust the angle of my arms and relax by standing up and not gripping too tight. Good gloves work well for me. Gloves are another thing. Especially, we see a lot of guys, especially street riders that are transitioning over to the dirt, wearing big, bulky gloves. And you think about it, you're trying to do some intricate tasks. And on road, you just turn the throttle. You barely really use the clutch. And, yeah, you might use the front brake a little bit. But it's not like it is in the dirt where there's so much stuff going on. And that's why we wear gloves that are a little more, they give you a little more dexterity on the bars. So, Kyler Stoker says, Sean Casey had a question about rear spring rates. Oh, yeah. Straight rate versus progressive. We've gone through this before. So he's talking about a PDS suspension. You know what we're talking about, Logan?
PDS suspension?
Yeah. You know about that? It's the one on the KTMs, no linkage?
Yeah.
Right. So I did see that. There was like first right off the bottom or right off the top of the show. So I did miss it. Blame me. So currently KTMs come with a progressive spring on their PDS bikes. But there was a time when they went back to straight rate, and they've bounced back and forth a couple times in that time. And I'm pretty sure that I always liked the progressive spring. So the earlier ones, did the early ones, or was the kind of the second generation PDS have a progressive spring? Because they went away, they kind of went back and away. I've always preferred the progressive spring, and there's a valving setup that you need to have working in conjunction with the spring. So you can't just take an old straight rate one and throw a progressive spring on it. And I know now a lot of the guys that are tuning them are putting straight rate springs on them. That's their thing. They say KTM got it wrong, and I have it better, and they valve it and go back to straight rate. And but I'm pretty sure for most people it's apples or oranges. It's you either like one or another, because it's kind of a feel. So yeah, I the pros and cons. It depends on what you like. Typically the straight rate. Well, it depends on how they set it up, who's setting it up. Because a lot of times when they go with the straight rate, they'll valve it initially softer so it moves a little bit freer, and then try to allow the PDS piston at the end to do a lot more of the work. Where now with the progressive springs, they're asking the spring to do a lot of that work, and then the valving tends to be a little bit more consistent. So, and maybe that's why when I sent my kreft shock back, because it was bottoming out too much, maybe there was something to do with that. But they've continued to use the progressive spring on that shock as well. So But they definitely increased the bottoming, and they were kind of surprised that I thought it bottomed as much as it did. But they're also based up in the Pacific Northwest, but out in Bend, they have, they're in Bend and they have high speed stuff and they have whooped out stuff. But so it wouldn't. I could see where the setup they sent the first time. If you were just riding really snotty, technical single track trails, that setting could have worked, but it just didn't work when I started going faster. It bottomed way easier than stock, and I know this now because now I have one that's a lot more similar to stock, and this is what I'm playing with. So, okay, so Sean, sorry about delaying on your question, but got another one, Logan. Logan, you here? Logan?
There's really only comment. Oh, Garrett Carlson. What is better for hard enduro? Higher triple clamps, offset number, or lower? Example for YZ250. 25 millimeters or 22 millimeters?
For hard enduro. On a YZ250, would I want to change it to begin with? What is stock on that? I don't even know what stock is. I've never felt the need on any of the Yamaha two strokes to change the offset on the triple clamps. And now you got me thinking, like, would I want for hard enduro? Would I want to change? I don't think it matters in that genre. At that point, you're so concerned with balance and traction and stuff like that. It's more about what the rear of the motorcycle is doing, and it's not like you're really. I'm trying to think of all the times I was riding hard enduro, because what you're talking about when you're talking about offset, it's how the bike turns, and I don't think in any time I raced hard enduro that I was ever worried about going around a turn a little bit faster, controlling my front end. And when you're in those kind of situations, like you of course you're at the point where the bike needs to turn tighter, but at that point you pivot turn the damn motorcycle. You put it up in the rear wheel and pivot turn it. You might be coming down a switchback and you come down a switchback and you kick the back end out. So I don't know that
maybe for enduro cross.
Enduro
For enduro
cross.
You want to.
But I wouldn't want to change a Yamaha. Yamahas are just really good. Like the handling and suspension of the Yamaha, just stock it's just really middle of the road. And I mean, if you as a rider say, I want this bike to turn more aggressively, then yeah, maybe you want a little bit different offset, or you want it to be a little more stable. You'd want a different setup. But I've never been one of those guys that wants to go right to triple clamp offset either. I tend to play with I'll play with wheelbase a little bit using the chain length and the swing arm. That's easier. Or I'll just slide the forks up and down in the tubes a little bit to give me a little bit different. You can find it there usually a lot easier than going to swapping out the clamps. So I haven't found that as one of the better ways of doing that. So yeah. Okay, back to arm pump. You gonna read it?
Oh, on day 3 of riding / racing.
Because I got thirsty. That was a lot of questions to answer in a row.
Yeah. Have a gas XE 250F. Feel like the stock bars are too swept back. Nice and low, but also feel too far forward. Not far enough forward. And tried holding on with my legs and feet and stand more. Should I have the bars more forward or different bend? Stock close to Carmichael's bend. Mike Lafferty says 999 or 996 twin walls. 996 are a bit higher than the 999s. but also swept back less. So, first step, what should I do? Move the back clamps forward,
Bar clamps.
bar clamps forward. What's negative about doing that?
So I'm hoping that you're talking about the new gas, which is a KTM. And what's so for sure, the easiest thing to do is to actually move the bars around, the stock bars. I'm surprised you're finding the sweep on those back. I mean, those bikes, I think, have a pretty flat bend to begin with. I used to always have to go, they were like a 10 degree and I would always go to a 12 degree bend. So I don't know but they're fine. I mean, I've ridden them. I just find them like, if you think that they're back too far. So when you just rotating them in the clamps can flatten them out a little bit, but then they also start coming up, so there's like a kind of a happy medium. There's a few degrees of adjustment there, but in the clamps going forward, so there's 4 different positions. There's 2 different bolt holes and the clamps are offset. So generally they come in the number 2 position, and I'm kind of bounced between the number 2 and the number 3 position. So 2 is the clamps forward in the back position. 3 is the clamps reversed in the front or the more forward position on the motorcycle. And if you go to like position 4, which is clamps forward, bar mount forward, it puts the bars ahead of the steering stem far enough to where now the bike starts becoming a little bit unstable because the way you're turning it is on top of the steering stem. It's a little more stable on braking, but when you're turning it, you have a little bit too much influence on what it's doing. And I always say, think about if you were doing a pull-up on those handlebars, which, I try to say never do this when you're riding, but if you're doing a pull-up on those handlebars and your bar is on top of the stem, it turns easier. Where if your bars are below the stem, you hang on it, and now you're swinging behind the pivot point. So that has a pretty big effect on the way it is. But it's like one of those things. It's real easy to change the bar position and rotate those things around. And if you start moving them around and you say, "Hey, I'm getting better here, but maybe I'm running out with what I can do with my standard bars," then go to the next logical bar bend. That'll work. And I love it how guys just always throw around like this bend, like this, the 999. Yeah, this is the bend. And, I can tell you what my bend is. I run a flex bar, 12 degree flex bar, standard height, and enduro, which has a longer pole on it. So you can put more stuff on the handlebars. So, you already answered. Thank you. I'm going to go setting 3 and rotate up there. So yes, new KTM. So we guessed right. It's always good how we can guess this kind of stuff. Yeah. So why don't you tell everybody about the Beta 200?
I rode it for 30 seconds.
30 seconds. That's more than most journalists. So just let everybody know how it works. It started right up?
Yeah.
When did you ride it?
The photo shoot.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Just when we were riding it back? Because you shot some of the photos.
Yeah.
And then, or you wrote it out there?
The first spot that we did.
Yep.
I wrote it through that.
Oh, you wrote it between from one photo shoot location to another photo shoot. That's a full test for most editors. Yeah. Just like let it rip. Let everybody know how it works. It started right up, and did it go into gear?
Yes.
Yeah. Hydraulic clutch?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to complain about that. Did Did any stuff spooge out of the muffler because of the oil injection?
No.
No.
Not when I.
I'm going to complain about something there too. I'm going through all the things I'm going to complain about because I really like that bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like right away, I rode it and I was like, this thing's really good. What else? There's one other thing. Oh, forks bottomed. Oh, you heard it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That like when we did that one little jump and it was clank. Yeah, I fixed that. I'm going to complain about that too. But other than that, there's not much to complain about.
No.
Yeah, it's a good little bike. I've always been a fan of 200s. I mean, I got in trouble for racing a KDX 200 when I had KX 250s at my disposal back in the desert racing days. I remember riding like an IT 200 when I was a kid. It was like one of the first big bikes I was able to, get to ride. That's a Yamaha one. And then they brought that thing back for a while. There was a DT or something. What was the Yamaha 200? It's water cooled because the old IT was air cooled. But there's a lot of different 200s. But it's kind of like I always say there's a perfect size of a motor, like where it just functions. It functions really good. And that's changed a little bit over the time. But back in the day, the right amount of power for lightweight and, a good handling feeling and stuff was the 200 two-stroke and the 400 four-stroke. Those two sizes just seemed to be optimum. Like a 250 two-stroke, all of a sudden it started making more power and it was a little heavier and it felt a little bit heavier. So for doing everything, it was a little bit too much. And same thing like even a 450, at the time motocross bike or trail bike, a 450 four-stroke was just a little bit too much where the 400 was like just right. It was the point, there was that 350. And so now with the four-strokes, like the 350 has become the optimum size to do everything, to do really well at everything. And then KTM kind of even felt that maybe the 150 was the right size to do everything. That was the gamble they took. They got rid of 200. And I don't agree. I mean, maybe for lighter, smaller riders, but for somebody my size, and now I'm pushing, close to 200 pounds, like the 200 two-stroke is still so ideal. And that's the number one thing that makes this Beta really good is it is a 200. And right away I wrote it and I said, this thing runs exactly how I used to spend a lot of time tuning my KTMs to make run. So, of course, what do? Go in the garage. I have a KTM 200. You've ridden it a bunch.
Yep.
And I go do all my back-to-back, my battery of back-to-back roll-on tests, throttles, all this different things like that. And right when I rode the Beta, I said, this thing just should annihilate my KTM, just the way it felt. But after pulling the KTM out, it was like, okay, it doesn't annihilate it. It has a more ideal power curve, power delivery. It's more like a 125 but it's a 125 that will absolutely not bog down. It can, but for the most part, it has that 125 power character where it just builds and builds, and the more you rev it, the more it builds, and it has a little bit of a sign off. If there was anything I would do, I'd try to get a little bit more, peak power, but that'd be more for like a racing application. For trail riding, I never missed it, and it's so good. It carburetes so well down low. It comes on a little earlier in my KTM where it starts, making power. And that low end delivery is smoother, where the KTM actually probably has a little bit more, comes on a little bit later, has a little bit more power in that lower mid, but the KTM power is enough to where it breaks the tire loose when you're doing something really technical, where the Beta doesn't break the tire loose. And it doesn't bog down, it doesn't break the tire loose, it gets traction and it gets you moving. Then you can get deeper into the power. Where I found with my KTM, it'd come on and I have to back it off to back it into traction. Like, a 300 or something like that, you can just lug it down and you never have to bring it onto the power, but then you're also fighting a heavier motorcycle. And then when you do get on it, that power makes weight feel. And this 200 has been like it's really, really good. The Beta ours is the regular one. It's a regular RR. It's not the race edition. So it has the Sachs forks and the Sachs shock. So it bottomed out like we heard. And so I went and squirted 10 cc's of oil into each fork, and the bottoming went away. I learned this on the 300. My 300 did not have enough oil in it. Like, it was below the manufacturer recommended level. This one was probably at stock, and it needed that extra 10 cc's, and it really helped. It does not bottom. Like, I mean, I can bottom it, but now it bottoms when it's supposed to. So that was good. Suspension overall, is pretty good. It's like, I would call it more aggressive than a KTM EXC, a little bit. You can race it. It's got the setting that you can race it, but you can still trail ride it, and it's comfortable. And our bike probably has 20, 30 hours on it or something, 25 hours on it now. It's got a bit of time, and it's finally really, really broken in. And it's the point where I want to go get the suspension serviced and see what it's really capable of. So that's good. My complaints are the clutch. And I was told today, if 200 people bought these bikes, 4 people would complain about what I'm going to complain about now. The clutch has a longer throw and not as much feel as the other betas or like a KTM. And I'll be real specific about this, is it feels like it has a longer throw, but it feels like it takes a lot of time to build up the pressure that it needs, and then it has a normal feel. I was told that there's probably in the clutch pack, there's 2 aluminum plates in there. The 125 evidently has all aluminum, but the 200 is a mix of aluminum and steel plates, and those plates heat up a little bit different. Because I also noticed that position where it's right where I want it, where it works just fine when it's in that position, it also changes when you start really, abusing the clutch. And the interesting thing about the beta is it's kind of like some of the trials bikes where the slave unit is built into the side cover. It doesn't have its own individual slave unit. It's built into the clutch side cover, kind of like, like I said, trials bikes. And so I think they could use maybe a little bit bigger master cylinder to throw a little bit more pressure in there, build the pressure sooner. It might make the pull a little bit harder. I don't know, but it's not perfect. It's not bad though. But it does, the engagement point does move around ever so slightly, but you'd have to be really picky to notice this. And I haven't gone out and just abused the clutch on purpose to see if something really changes, but I do notice the position kind of changes. And then they have zip ties on the muffler, the little grommet between the muffler and the pipe, and they're on there, but it still spits out. Even it never spit out any spooge out of the end of the muffler. The oil injection is just really good.
Yeah. But
it spit it out there, and it blew all over the shock and all over the inside there. And it's ugly, but that's a pretty minor complaint. Other than that, great bike. I need to do the video explaining all this, kind of what I just did for you, but I need to do it on a video so that people don't have to watch this whole stupid show to get that information. WR200, Jeff. That's right. That's the answer. WR200. That bike had a lot of potential, but it was built on a chassis that was supposed to be a street bike and stuff like that. So, the San Felipe Bob, who just got a Beta 300, by the way. Evidently, I sold a Beta 300, allegedly. So I sold a Recluse clutch, a Beta 300, and a set of Kenna tires.
Yep.
All in this show. The switch, the power modes on that thing, that's the best push button switch I've ever ridden from a manufacturer. Like, I can usually I can complain about them all day long, but this one does what it's supposed to. Like, it has the blue one, which is the high power one. It's snappy and responsive, and it has the white one, and it just mellows it out so you can be kind of dumb with the throttle, and it just and torques and pulls. Because do you have your 2 switches on your KTM? No, you don't have it. Yeah. Because like KTM's like, God, separate them a little bit. Yeah, these ones, they're 2 different maps, and they're not different enough. They're not dumb. They're exactly what they're meant to be. And so many bikes have these 2 different switches, and it's like, half the time the one that they say is aggressive feels more mellow to me, and vice versa. So, DTs. Wow, we're talking about old bikes now. 500s? What? So all over the place. I didn't know that anyone was using aluminum clutch plates. You learn something new every day. Good, Mark. That's what you want to do on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday is learn something new. They use the aluminum plates for less rotational inertia to give the bike a little bit more pickup or snap. And on the 125, I guess that's important for them. And then I actually on this 200, I'd be willing to try. Because the aggressive, when you put it in the aggressive map, it's pretty snappy. I would be willing to try all steels if that, for instance, were the solution to the problem. It's not enough for me to really want to go do anything to fix it, but it is like one of the small complaints. But overall, really happy with that bike. If Logan would ever go riding with me, we could go shoot some more videos. But what'd you do in Vegas? You had to go play golf?
No.
Oh, date?
No.
No.
Mountain biked.
Mountain bike.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't invite me to go mountain biking.
Well, no, our truck was full.
Oh,
Yeah.
truck was full. Okay. That's okay. That same place we went to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Thought about it, but our truck was full. So.
Thought about it. Okay. It's okay. I can just ride my mountain bike there. I got an electric bike now. I'll just ride
Go
there.
up and over.
So, okay. Has this show been long enough, Logan? Oh, we were going to talk about what we can do to make this show better.
I think Rusty Nail said split these two TVs up, like ads on one and then cool stuff on the other.
Ads and cool stuff. What about having like segments? What's Logan's beer mile time? He doesn't do beer miles. He's not old enough. He did make him do I challenged a kid to a beer mile versus a Coke mile. Yeah. That didn't go very well for the kid. I made notes, Logan. I made show notes. I'm going to right here. I thought that we could actually have a more specific segment where we have the listener questions it's actually a full segment so we can concentrate on banging through them a little quicker. Although I do go off the rails sometimes, right? I talk too much.
I think that's the whole idea of the show.
Oh, should I tell stories? Like about what like racing story, old time stories? No.
Well, I thought you didn't like talking about racing.
No, I like talking about myself though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't really talk about racing. So, we should have like that would be like a whole, because that's the basis of the show is like the questions. That's the thing. And maybe we do a little better job of getting them before the show and go there. But, you also, if we're doing it live, you want to have some live interaction. So maybe we take, the first 3 questions or, somehow it's a little more segmented or you have to actually ask them in the, just before the show starts. We'll kind of warm up. We'll do a warm up and we'll say, okay, now's the time to ask the questions that we're going to answer on the show.
Yeah.
To be formatted, that would be good. Segments would be better so that idiots don't ask about platform boots. What are those? Is that what Victor wears when he goes out to the clubs when he's drunk after riding his motorcycle? Let's see. And then the other one would be the part or bike of the week section.
Yeah.
Like the thing I'm testing, one of the things that I'm testing. So just like I did with the beta right there. So I actually take a dedicated time. And then that way when you're going up and putting up the card on the YouTube, you have something specific to put up there.
Yes.
We did this in the beginning. I used to just, because we weren't getting that many fans to comment on this stuff.
Yeah.
So to do something that's specific, that would be good, a bike or a product. And so this week, like Beta 200 is what I've been working on. Been wearing some new Climb Aggressor stuff. It's like way lighter and thinner than the old stuff, and it's really good. Climb also helps this show out. You know that, Logan?
Yeah.
DDC.
Yeah.
Yeah, them too. Have you seen my picture on the Climb ads? It doesn't go on your Instagram. You don't see me wearing the new Mojave gear, doing big old roosts. No? Oh man. What are you on, TikTok? Is Climb advertising on TikTok yet? I'm going to set up a conference
Should.
call. So I'll that's another segment here too. So climb. I wear climb gear because I like it. I've been actually wearing the XC Light gear. If you watch I've got you in my pocket. The good thing about the XC Light gear is you can see out of it, because usually it's supposed to be black. You know, it's an audio feature. It's something you're supposed to listen to. Like, we started that because I was just ripping on 125, and I go, this is such a bitchin' sound. How do I communicate this to the world? And that was, I've got you in my pocket. That's where it started. And so now I do it on a bunch of different bikes. It's a series. You can see it on Dirt Bike Test Instagram, whatever. And so on this last one, people are like, dude, why do you put your GoPro in your pocket? I'm like, that's why it's called I've got you in my pocket. Because that's the shtick. You know, that's the thing, right? It's like, and you hear, and the good thing is Climb makes pants with zippers, so I can put it in my pocket and it goes zip. And then it's like, then I'm on the gas, ripping. So much fun. We could, every weekend, according to Jeffrey Wagatal, what do you know about the Husaberg 570? We could have a Husaberg 570 segment every week.
The weekly.
Where I could profess my love to the motorcycle that has so much power that, like, it ripples the earth. I mean, we've talked about this. You have to go to old episodes to see that. That's how I explain. Like, remember that? That was one of the best stories ever. It was Andrew and Ricky were sitting here, right? Andrew Short and Ricky Brayback, and I said, you know how all those hoops got there? And they're like, you just ride back and forth down that? And I'm like, no, one time in the Husaberg, it rippled the earth. I'll ding to that. A Jimmy Lewis Riding School tip segment. Yeah, we could do that. Actually, Mike, there is going to be a Better Rider podcast. So where we're going to do more about riding techniques and stuff like that. And that's going to be over on the Jimmy Lewis Off-Road School side of things. That's coming pretty soon. That's half the reason I'm getting organized in here.
Yeah.
And Eric DePetrus says, I'm late to the party. Have we talked about the new Pan American? That's the Harley Davidson adventure bike. No, I haven't talked about it because I haven't ridden it. I wasn't invited to ride it. I don't know anything about it other than other people have ridden it. And you're going to have to go someplace else because I know people want to know what I think, but I can't think about it if I don't know about it. So let's see. Places to eat while riding in some areas. I don't know anything about that. And the other thing I thought of, Logan, was we could have guest segments. So we could actually have a specific guest, kind of like we've had Chris in here before.
Yeah.
Where actually each show we call somebody and, you know, knock out 15 minutes to call somebody cool in the industry that knows something about motorcycles. And I know a lot of people that know way more than I do. And maybe, you know, if we have the question that's kind of directed towards, you know, some specific thing that I can get a really good, like a suspension expert to answer the straight rate versus they can get deeper into it than I can. I know how it feels, but a lot of times I don't know exactly how it works. And the other thing I had was Logan talks to sponsors. This is my segment. Well, no, it's your segment. It's where Logan. So this has to be pre-recorded. You know how I read off those ones where people send me emails where they want to get involved and they want to optimize our SEO or do something like that. So what we'll do is we'll sit down here and we'll get them on the phone. We'll call them because they want to call and talk to you, or you send an email and you get to read the email back. And I'm gonna load you up with I'll sit here with you, but I'm not going to say anything. I'll load you up with some really cool phrases and things to say back to them. You know, like you're going to say like, we're going to have to pivot off that topic right now because I want to circle back and, talk about a little better collab. You know, I want to give you all these boardroom jingles. So, and you throw these back at these people because half of these people it's just some other knucklehead that he found a job where he can make, $250 an hour working from home, and he's just sending out emails to anybody, and they can tell you how to do your job better. But the thing is, it'd be funnier than shit if I give you the right info to answer these questions. We'll record it, we'll laugh about it, and then we'll play it up on the screen or something like that. It'd be kind of like crank anchors, but different. But maybe, just maybe, we'll actually trip over somebody that has a better idea for us. We'll learn something, and then it'll force you to talk.
Yep.
Because you're really awkward to talk to on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. You even know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a lot of awkward silences and stuff.
Well, he shakes his head a lot. Like
when he's on the phone.
Oh, yeah.
You ask him stuff, he answers you. It's just in a head shake.
Did you talk to your girlfriend on the phone?
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. You just shake your head? She just talks and you listen.
They do FaceTime.
Oh, you FaceTime.
This makes sense. But when he's on the phone with you, I go, Logan, he can't. When you just
that is because that's not going to work on this. Because remember, this is a podcast too.
Yeah.
So this works okay on the YouTubes and the Facebook.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we'll make it even worse. This will be great. So what are the segments you thought we should do on your show notes we talked about?
I wasn't sure what a show note was before the beginning of the show. So
well, that's when I send you a text and you say okay, and then you would say, Jimmy, can you explain what a show note is? That would help you out there.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You can ask. It's a learning experience. We're growing here. Logan dating tip segment.
Whew.
We'll get your girlfriend in for that. We could have you call your girlfriend live on the show, right? Maybe she could be our first guest, our first call-in guest.
on there earlier.
She was on there earlier. Yeah, there's a lot of people popping in here. Actually, Gabe. Remember Gabe?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gabe. I saw Gabe pop into the thing here at some point or another.
Yeah, he watches a couple.
Podcaster in there too, Talon Taylor.
Talon Taylor?
From the Pulp MX show was in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is he related to you guys? No, that's Tyler.
He's a buddy of ours, but no.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because he's at Sportsman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the one that got you the X trainer.
Yeah.
The one that led to cartwheels with Logan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I got a pristine one over here.
Yeah.
Yes, Bob.
It was Loganated.
Loganated.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing is, how that other show I had you watch it the co-host guy, his side guy.
Yeah.
He had a name. He had a kind of it was Stony Buds.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get you a name. Like, you can't be like Logan. You got to, I don't want you to be Stony Buds.
Logie
Yeah.
Bear.
Like Logie Bear, yeah.
Girls call him Logie Bear.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, Logie
Okay.
Bear.
Logie Bear over there. So it's like you got to change. You don't have that as your Instagram handle yet,
What?
or your chit chatter handle. You're not Logie Bear on that one. So, Logan, do some research and homework. Well, Mark, you could move out here and you could coach him too. Tech tips are always good. Yeah, pre-planned tech tip would always be good. I have a lot of those up my sleeve. I don't remember. Tonight your tech tip is when your sprockets are wearing out, hold that up. Get a DDC Delaney Drive Component sprocket. They are made of stainless steel. I've never worn one out. I still have ones from a long, long time ago, and they're still on my bikes. They are nearly indestructible and unmatched. It says unmatched durability and quality. No, unmatched quality and strength. So if you are looking for a sprocket, go to ddcracing.net, and you will be hooked up and driving. So, okay. You want to do the Honda one?
Okay.
Okay.
Honda's new 2021 Sierra 450R is designed to take you straight from the starting gate to Victory Circle. This
You know what you do when you're in Victory Circle?
Do a shoey?
A shoey?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, yeah, you could if you're in Formula One. Yeah. No, I'm just going to go in Victory Circle right now. I'm going to drink my champagne of beer. So keep going.
This awesome open class motocrosser features all new chassis, a major engine overhaul, new suspension, and new bodywork. And you can forget about clutch fade, adjustment, or hand fatigue with the new hydraulic clutch system. Lighter than ever, the Sierra 450R explodes out of corners when it's time to increase your lead. So get on down to your local dealer and check out the 2021 Sierra 450R. Go to mx.honda.com to see our full lineup of competition bikes.
And it's closed course competition only.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Mark Daniels is researching his moving out here options. So he's going to come out here. I think he used to be a high patroller cop. So he can probably tell you how to, handle those roads without getting the heart rate up.
Yeah.
Logan, yeah. Loganator. Okay. Well, hey, thanks everybody for joining in and watching this. Again, share it on your different platforms. And when you have friends ask stupid questions of motorcycles that you don't know the answer to, send them to me because I can, boost their self-esteem and help increase their confidence and stuff like that. We'd like to also thank Climb, Recluse, DDC, Takamoto, and KTM.
Yes. Powered by a distinct ready-to-race mentality, KTM is the world's leading high-performance street and off-road motorcycle manufacturer. With North American headquarters based in Marietta, California, over the years, KTM has built a reputation as a fierce competitor on the racetracks around the world. And the brand's remarkable global success is reflected in every product it develops and every move it makes.
I don't have any Hondas, but I do have some KTMs, and I'm going to go ride one of them tomorrow, I think. We should go ride tomorrow. What are you doing?
Tomorrow? School.
Oh, I like that in air quotes.
Yeah.
He threw school up in air quotes. Hey, I built the circle. I got this, circle. I've got that. It's tight. It's in there really good.
Okay.
And then I'm working on a figure 8 over there. So I got to do a little painting tomorrow, but I'm ready to ride in the afternoon. I really want to ride. And we can take maybe the 200s out and go goof around a little bit like that, shoot some video. But one other thing I wanted to bring up is we're not going to talk about brands. Nothing to do with brands here. But we did that tire test last couple weeks ago. You got to ride. So, and this is something that's we'll close the show on this note. But you think about it. So everybody thinks like there's this bike is better. Or this, and when you've got a chance to ride different bikes, and they're definitely different, right?
Yeah.
You ride one bike and it has a different flavor than another bike, and a different flavor than another bike, right? But we rode 2 different tires.
Yes.
And they were the same type of tire for the same type of trainer. No, like I say, don't say any brands, but you know the brands.
Yes.
But the results surprised you.
Oh yeah.
Based on the brand.
Yeah.
Okay, so think about this. And the reason I can't talk about it is because we were testing it's like early prototype stuff. But you think about this is like if you said, "Oh, I want to go get what's considered the best. I want to go get the best and I want to get it." You would not have, like, if your dad went and got you the tire, he would not have bought the tire that you preferred.
Probably not.
Right. And so, but you see how much just a tire that's very similar, similar looking, similar, like category, but not what you expect. It makes a big difference. So this is something to think about with your, and this is why, like, credible product testing stuff is important. That there is somebody out there that can describe, because we sat there and we talked about it for a while, describing the way that the tires felt between the 2 bikes, and then they were on 2 different bikes, a KTM 250 and a KTM 350. We switched them because we wanted to take the bike out of the equation. We want to make sure the feel we were getting from the tire was the feel from the tire, not the difference between the 2 bikes. And the tire feel stayed consistent between switching. The bikes are very similar to begin with. But this level of product testing is kind of important. But it just goes to show that the name on the side isn't always... And you wouldn't say that one I mean, you definitely preferred one over the other.
Yes.
But it's like the ability to describe what they were doing was more important, because maybe if you had, so imagine if we took those tires and we put them on a really stiff bike, suspended bike, it would change the way you would feel.
Yeah, probably.
And you think about what riders are doing now, you know, a lot of guys are scrubbing off at jumps to where, okay, I don't scrub off jumps, so I want more bite or more traction all the time. But if you are doing something like that, scrubbing off at jumps, you want something that maybe doesn't have that much bite, because that could go wrong.
Yes.
So it's interesting. Like at one level, this is important. At another level, that's important.
Yes.
So just something to think about when you're, you may not have the ability to test it, but all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's got to be better. And it's like, no, you don't know. And the good thing about tires, you can just change them. Yeah. You can try it, and I don't really like this, but trying things back to back and can make a big difference. But everybody sees that in just bike to bike, but it's like we were talking about handlebars tonight. Yeah. We're talking about different forks, switching. This guy went to the level to get a different fork for his motorcycle. And that's what's cool about all this stuff. It's super customizable. You can change it. You can try these different things. And anyways, that's what we're here to do, to help you answer those questions. Sometimes you get a little bit too specific, but then I'm going to just kind of fire back and always go, well, like, really, what are you trying to do? Like what? Because I can generally, from riding different things, I can tell you this would be better, or that would be better, or here's what you would look for. But a lot of times it's a personal preference more than it is this is better than that.
Yeah.
I get a lot of this is better than that in the world, and it's like, what are you trying to do? Because what I may like, maybe not what you like, and vice versa. So with that, we're out of here, right, Logan? So what do we say at the end of the show? You've got to know this.
We'll see you out on the trail.
Right.
Trail. Cheers.
Right. Cheers.
Taco Moto. So you've heard us talk about Taco Mike on the show. He's been a guest host a few times. Taco Moto Co., that's how you find him on the web, sells a lot of the kind of cool and unique tuning products that you need to get your emissions compliant bike running up to snuff. So if you have questions, he has answers, and he can also sell you the stuff. So if we can't answer the question here, which we hope we can, maybe he can answer the question over there, and he can also sell you the parts that you might need to get your especially KTM or Husky dual sport bike running like a champ. Anyways, it's tacomoto.co.